Hello and welcome. My name is Scorpius9472, and I'm going to be answering a few questions that a friend of mine has asked me about games in general. So there'll be 8 questions, and I'll be answering them the best as I can. So, the first question was, what was the first video game that you've ever played? The first video game that I have ever played was Doom. Doom for the PlayStation 1. And what got you into collecting games, playing them? I guess for me, as a kid growing up, I never really started collecting games. There were just more so the fact that my older siblings got the games, and I just played those, and they just happened to be, you know, well-known games in the PlayStation 1 era to this date, and they were pretty awesome at the time. So I suppose I really started buying games. I was around the age of like 10 or 12. So that's the only. Or like I would ask my parents, for Christmas to get like games that way. But I guess you could say the collection started around there. Um, so yeah. So the next question was, what's been the most memorable experience in a game? Most memorable experience in a game. I suppose it was when I was watching my parents play Tomb Raider. Playing Tomb Raider is an authentic piece of memory in my mind. Um, it's very grafted in the back of my mind, and it's. I think it's the very symphony of music that plays in the background when you're either in danger or when you enter a new room or a new level. It's. I think music is a vital part to games of now. In terms of games today, it's improving, but they did have like a they did have a void where music or even gameplay was a terrible uh was terrible pretty much. And yeah, my most memorable moment of Tomb Raider was the big egg monster, the one with no legs, that scared the crap out of me as a little kid. And yeah, it's forever grafted in my mind as the most nerve-wracking boss to beat in the first game of the Tomb Raider series. So, the next question says, what would you say has been your most disappointing game? Not necessarily bad, but disappointing. So, this stems from the Tomb Raider series again. It was the Tomb Raider Chronicles, I think, which is the fifth installment to the PlayStation 1 Tomb Raider series. It was loosely based off, you know, Laura, like, kind of like, apparently she's dead, and then she came back and all that kind of stuff in the PlayStation 2 game, and it was just. From that point on, it kind of just lost its edge. Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, and 4 were the best Tomb Raider games in my opinion, and the rest just kind of flopped from there, and there's never been the same since. I mean, you've got the Tomb Raider game where they show her when she was like young and all that kind of stuff, and learning how to be or become how the Tomb Raider kind of thing. And in my eyes, they've already done that with Tomb Raider Revolution or Revelation, sorry, the fourth installment on the PlayStation 1 series. She, you see her when she's young with the the dude that's trying to train her, and yeah, I think self-explanatory. But I guess if they wanted to make a game in that kind of way, that's fine. It's just this is kind of disappointing for me. Another disappointing thing was the fact that when they did the remake for Tomb Raider 1 for the PlayStation 2, they made it they made it alright. It's okay for a standalone game, but I will not ever credit it for being a great remake or remaster, because my god, it had so many things that were wrong with it that needed to be fixed in terms of jumping, the gymnastics, and of course, The music was terrible. It was crap, and I hated it. So I hope that answers that question. Question 5 says, "What's an all-time favorite game of yours?" Well, we stem back to the game Doom. No matter how many times I've played other games and gone to play like games like Dying Light or something like Resident Evil, I've always gone back to my favorite FPS of all time, and that has to be Doom. Doom is something that has appealed to me since I was young. I played it when I was a little 4-year-old child growing up, and obviously I played with the cheats on because I never liked to hear the blood curdling scream of the guy when he died. So I guess you could say I never wanted him to die, so I just wanted to have fun. Eventually, then, when I grew out of that kind of stage, I just played it as normal because my dad would be like, "Oh, you're playing with the cheats again," and that would just kind of get me out of playing with the cheats, and then I would just play on from there and learn how every level works. And to this day, I know how every level works because I've played it so much. Um, you can basically you could ask me what is going to come next, what monster's going to appear out of nowhere, which difficulty is like, which monster's going to go. It's, yeah, my favorite game of all time. 6. What style of game would you say is your favorite to play? Now, this might surprise you. I know you might say, maybe FPS. It's a mixture between FPS and real-time strategy games, like Age of Empires or something like Command and Conquer. Those games I can really get behind because it takes a lot of thinking power, and at the same time, you need to be quick. Because if you're not quick, the other opponent's just going to wipe you out, and you're just going to be sat there thinking, well, that was crap. um, so yeah, that would be the main one, I'd suppose, like RTS and FPS. 7. Favorite video game music. Favorite video game music has to be a 50-50 toss-up between Tomb Raider series from the first installment and second installment, and then the Command and Conquer series. Franco Plaque is just a fucking whiz. Sorry for the F-bomb, but my god, he is epic at the music. No matter what music has been playing in the Command and Conquer series, you just know it's going to be epic, and it's brilliant. So I'd recommend, if you haven't played Command and Conquer before, go and play it. Last question. Any games you wish would be remastered or remade? There was, if you ever heard of John Carpenter's The Thing, you know that's been a movie adaptation of the 1952 release. Um, and it's made a game for the PlayStation 2, and I've always wanted to see either that remastered or remade, and have like like a co-op option, and like a infection deathmatch kind of thing, so you can't tell who's the thing and who's not the thing. I think that would be awesome to be able to project, and John Carpenter's still about and going, so there's no excuse for them not to make it. And if I had to choose who would be the people to work that game through, and live up to expectations, I'd say either Konami or Bethesda. You know, I know they have had trouble with Fallout and all that kind of stuff because of the whole glitch and everything, and being able to play multiplayer as NPCs, but it's good, and I think that would work out. Either Bethesda or uh, Konami, since they've had the history of having Silent Hill. That's another thing that bugs me though. Silent Hill's a good game, and they kind of ruined that by not making them again. Like, it's maybe something that the real, you know, dig up again and start, making. But they'll need to get their old staff back if they really want to do that. Anyway, I hope that clarifies all the questions you've had for me so far. Thank you very much for having me, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.